Hi, I'm Jack Torn, and following on from the picking hand technique video and the fretting hand technique video, it's now time to bring it all together and actually get stuck in with some playing. So we're going to have a go at taking the riff that we played in the fretting hand video, and we're going to apply that to the 3 bass strings on the guitar. So that was the E string I just played, the A string underneath that, and the D string underneath that. And we're going to take those 3 strings and we're going to move that riff around those strings in the format of a 12-bar blues, with a bit of an extra bar after each riff to give us a chance to get ready for our next string, ending up in something of a 24-bar blues, sort of. So to get into these bluesy riffs, we're going to have a quick look at the thumb picking technique, how to get your thumb on the string and picking that nice even rhythm with your thumb. And then we're going to have a quick recap of how the riff goes with the off, off, on, off movement coming from your fretting hand finger. And then the rest of the video is playing and playing and playing and playing, and there's a lot of playing. Okay, so a quick look at thumb picking technique. We're going to bring the thumb of the picking hand over the top of the guitar and place it on that thick string right at the top of the set of strings there. And then I'm going to take my index finger and my middle finger, I'm going to place those on the 2 thinnest strings there just to support my hand in this playing position. Quick check over to the other hand, make sure that that's not touching the strings. We don't want that kind of sound. But this time, rather than taking the hand well away from the neck, we're going to keep it on the neck and just lift the fingers off the string so that when we play the string, it has plenty of room to vibrate. Okay, so we're going to have a look at 2 possible techniques you might want to have a go at while we're playing through these bass riffs. The first one is called a free stroke, where your thumb plays through the string and then out back towards the fingers on your hand, where it is free to move around. And the second one is called a rest stroke, where the hand position is slightly lower and the thumb pushes through that string and then comes to a rest on the string below the one that you're playing. Just like that. So starting off with that free stroke, we've got the fingers supporting the hand on those 2 thin strings down there and the thumb ready to play on that low E string, the one at the top here. A quick check over to the other hand just to make sure the fingers aren't actually touching the strings, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 after 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and E, 2, 3, 4 and stop. And that's your free stroke. For the rest stroke, we're going to move the hand down to a slightly different position. Then we're going to push the thumb through the string, and it's going to come to a rest on the string underneath. So after 4, we'll have a go at playing 4 rest strokes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. So as we go through this video, have a go experimenting using the free stroke and the rest stroke. So we've got 2 possible approaches as to how we're going to get the thumb actually moving the string. We've got the free stroke and the rest stroke. So you might want to try each example all the way through using one, maybe starting off with the free stroke, and then rewind the video and have another go at going through the same example again using the rest stroke. And after a while, you'll probably find that you'll find one more comfortable than the other. It's worth persevering and getting the hang of both of those techniques, so they're both available for you to use, but you'll probably favour one over the other to begin with. So that's the general approach for the picking hand thumb. Now I'm going to switch our attention over to the fretting hand, which is exactly the same riff as we were playing in the last video, the video all about fretting hand. So we're going to have a quick recap of that and then we're in and playing. Okay, so here we can clearly see the neck of the guitar again, and if we remember from the fretting hand video, this riff is all about open strings and 3rd fret notes. And the pattern we were using was open, open, 3rd fret, open. So as far as your finger's concerned, that is off, off, on, off. And the notes we're playing are E, E, G, E. But this lesson's all about taking that riff and moving it around with the chord progression. So as the chords change, we can also play that on the A string. So you're going to move your fretting hand finger down so it's ready to play the string below the one we just played. This is the A string. And make sure that your thumb moves down to play that string as well. So now both hands are playing the A string. So with my finger off the string, if I just give that string a play, it should sound like that. And then I want to try the riff on that string as well. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and off, off, on, off. So exactly the same movements as before, but this time the notes are slightly different. So we'll give it one more go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and A, C, A. So I'm playing the A strings, the open strings are A notes, and the 3rd fret note is a C. And then finally I want to move down to the next string, which is the D string, which is the 4th string up from the bottom. So string number 4, make sure both hands are playing the same string, hold down that 3rd fret, should ring out nice and clean, that's an F note, so it's a D string with a 3rd fret F giving us D, D, F, D. We'll try that after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and off, off, on, off. And then one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and D, D, F, D. And that pretty much covers the technique focus for this video. We know what we're going to do with our picking hand, we know what we're going to do with the fretting hand, and all we need to do now is bring them together and have a go at playing through these changes. So when I say playing through these changes, what I'm talking about is as the chords are playing in the backing track, we want to make sure that we're playing the riff that corresponds to the chord being played. So the first chord being played in the backing track is an A chord. And we want to make sure we start off our riff playing the A string. So as usual with these backing tracks, we're listening out for the 4 cymbal hits to count us in. So we've got tss, 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 and in. And after that, we're straight away 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's a rest, 3, 4, and then again. And we're going to play the whole thing 4 times. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. So if you imagine the piece of music we're going to be playing written down as 3 lines with 4 riffs on each line. The first line we just played was the A riff played 4 times. So in the second line of our piece of music, we're going to play the riff twice on the D string and then twice on the A string. So you want to be able to play the riff on the D string and then jump onto the A string, which is the one above it, during that 4-beat gap when it's just the drums playing to keep us in time. So set up your picking hand on the D string, make sure your fretting hand is also ready to play the D string. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, play the riff. And during the next 1, 2, 3, 4, we're getting ready on the A string. And we'll have a go at playing that. So set up on the D string, ready to play after 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and D. Get ready for the A string, 2, 3, 4, and A. So you might want to try that change a few times, give that a bit of a practice, make sure both hands are moving nice and smoothly from one string to the next and they both arrive on the same string when they get there. So with the backing track we're going to play the D riff twice and then we're going to play the A riff twice. Let's give it a go. Okay, so ready on the D string, listening out for the intro clicks on the cymbal. 2, 3, 4. Again on the D. Moving to the A string, 3, 4, and again on the A string, 4. And that's it. And there you have it, the riff being played twice with a string change in the middle and then being played twice more on a different string. So the next section we're going to play would be the 3rd and final line of this piece of music that we're going to have a go at playing. It's got 4 riffs in it, but each one is played on a different string. So we're going to go through them one by one and see if we can keep up. So we're going to start off on the low E string, biggest string on the guitar there, the one right at the top. We're going to play that string after 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to jump from the top string, which is the E string, right down to the D string. So that is the 4th string on the guitar, and you always count the strings from the thinnest one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll help you find the string that we're looking for. After 4, we're going to give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4, so D, and then we're going to move to the A string, which is the one above the one you've just been playing. So move your thumb up one string and make sure your fretting hand goes with it. A string after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and A. And then we're going to finish up right back on the big thick E string at the top of the set of strings, which is where we started. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and E. Okay, so I'll just have a go at playing those strings in the right order. So we're going to start off on the E string after 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and E. D string next, 3, 4. A string next, 3, 4. And then E string to finish, 3, 4. And then an A note on the A string, just to make it sound like the piece of music has been completed. Now we're going to do exactly that to the backing track. Okay, so hands ready on the low E string, should sound like that, and then listen out for the drummer for our counting. So E string first, 2, 3, 4. D string, A string, And that's the third and final line of the piece of music. So that's the tricky one. That's the one where we're changing string. Every single riff is going to be on a different string. So I hope you got the hang of all of that. Obviously you can have a go at each one of those parts again just by rewinding the video and having another go. You might find you want to practice that last section that we just played a few more times than the other because there's a bit more going on there. But next up we're going to have a go at putting all of those things together. So make sure you have a bit of a practice playing through those changes, looking at each individual set of 4 riffs, because next up we're going to play through the whole thing. So that's 4 times through the A string, then we've got 2 on the D string, 2 on the A string, and then we've got E string, D string, A string, E string, and then finishing with 1 single hit on the A string to finish off the whole piece. Yes, that is quite a lot to remember, but the more you play those practice runs where you're playing each block of 4, the easier it is going to be to play through the whole thing. So I would definitely recommend having a quick rewind, have a quick go at each of those sections a few times before we crack on into the full piece, which is coming up next. Okay, so here we go playing through the full 12 bar blues changes. We're going to start off on the A string, and I'll talk you through it as we go through. If you come back to this video to have another go at playing through this piece of music, you've got 2 options. The version we're about to go through now, where I'm going to explain the changes as they come up and remind you which strings are coming up and where to move, and the version that you saw me play through right at the beginning of the video, where I'm just playing, I'm not talking you through it, I'm just going for it. So that version at the beginning of the video is the one that you want to be able to play along with once you've memorised all the changes, and this version we're about to go through now is the one that will help you practice and memorise those changes with a few hints from me as you go along. So, hands ready on the A string. The first change is going to be from the A string to the D string, but we're going to play the A string riff 4 times. You want to have those changes kind of in your mind right from the beginning. You don't want to get there and go, where am I going? You want to get there and go, oh yes, the D string, I'll go there next. And it's that preparation and forward thinking that's going to make it a nice smooth transition from string to string as we go through the piece. Anyway, that's enough running on from me. Let's give it a go. So, hands ready on the A string. That sounds like that. Make sure you've got the right string. Listen out for the counting from the drummer, and here we go. 2, 3, 4. Again. 2, 3, 4. And again. One more time. D string. 3, 4. And again. A string. 3, 4. One more time on the A string. E string. D string. A string. E string, A string note, 3, 4, and that's it. You've played the whole thing. So if you didn't make it all the way through, then well done. If you didn't quite keep up with the whole thing, then have a few goes round that one when I'm talking you through it, and then next time you come back to this video, play through the beginning one, try and do it all from memory. Once you've mastered that, you can play a 12 bar blues. And that's it, you've played through everything we need to cover in this video. So you can now take a riff, and then change string, and keep it going. You can also follow the changes from the backing track, which means you're beginning to learn the structure of a 12 bar blues, which is good because in the next video, we're going to have a look at playing more than one note at a time. We're going to have a look at some simple chords using just 2 fingers for each of the chords. We're going to have a look at A, A sus 2. We're going to have a look at D, D sus 2. And we're going to have a look at E minor, which aren't the traditional chords that would be used in a 12 bar blues, but we're just starting off with 2 finger chords because there's enough to think about with chord changes as it is. So we're going to take it up from playing single finger riff, where you only need 1 finger at a time, to having a go at playing a piece of guitar music that uses 2 fingers simultaneously to get a different kind of sound and another type of guitar playing. So give the video a like if you've enjoyed playing along with these riffs, subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the little notification bell so you know when the next lessons are coming up and you can take your guitar playing even further. And let me know how you get on with playing through these riffs in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video for some chords.